Hi everyone. So we have covered a lot of topics in the data analysis videos in the earlier videos, and now I would like to talk about the visualization part, in which the the baseline, the very basic, the Matplotlib is a very basic visualization library which you can install it using Matplotlib, right? And that is what I'm going to showcase the various component of the library and how you can use it to create the basic charts, basic visualization using the Python Matplotlib library, right? So let's first we are going to load our library. So I'm loading here the NumPy, the pandas, the Matplotlib pyplot as PLT, and let's create our 10 values, right? So using NP numpy array arrange. So these are the 10 values. And if you just do a plt dot plot using the data, that's going to give you the straight line, because what it does, it uses the data points, right? And create a just plot that point in the straight line, because it just starts as 0 to 1 to 10, right? 1 to 9, and that's what the straight line is. So the PLT here is nothing but the matplot pyplot alias, and we are plotting it on the data which we just created. And the by default, the plot function is the line. So whenever you do a plt.plot, by default it just create the line graph. Next, let's first see the figures and the subplots. So there's a figure function in the pyplot where you can call and keep as the figure in the fig, right? And in that fig you can just add multiple subplots. So what is 2 to 1 represent? It's represent there will be 2 by 2, means 2 rows 2 columns, and 1 represents the one first axis, okay? And this is second and the 3. If I just run this, you see there are 3 axes in the figure, and this one x1, this one x2, this is x3. So let's plot something on the X3 in this part. What I'm doing, I'm just plotting, getting the 50 points, accumulating, doing the cumulative summation of that. Color is black, line is that, and the by default is going to plot the line. Let's see what it's going to do. So it just plotted the line for the 50 random values doing the cumulative sum. So if you just do it again, you see why there are two lines, because I created on top of it. Let me rerun. So we do have one only. Nice. So let's also plot in AX1, in this one the histogram, and this in the X2 the scatter plot, getting the 100 values there, 20 bins, and the alpha is just the transparency. And let's see. So this is the AX1, and X2 also has the values. You can create a if you can use the Pythonic way to create the subplots, right? So PLT subplot represent there will be 2 rows and 3 columns, right? And this is the axis. This is the axis, 2 rows and 3 columns, right? And these are all the axes where you can create individual plots in this axis. What about the adjusting space around these subplots? You can see there are space. So these are the by default. But if you want to change that, you can do this. So what I did in this code, I created 2 by 2 subplots. Share of x and y argument is true, means each plot is sharing the same values, right? So 0 to 60, 0 to 60, minus 4 to 4, minus 4 to 4. And for each plot means it start with I1 and Y1. It is going to do the histogram for 50 points, pin 20, color this and alpha. And the width space and the height space for the subplot we have adjusted to 0, so there is nothing. That's why you can change the values if you want, and it will give the same result. Next, let's talk about the colors, markup, and line style. So let's create a figure in the x1. We are just adding one x, x1, and we are plotting it with the 30-point community sum and line dash and mark code. So this is the addition part, which represent the point where the value is changing, right? You see one value, second, three, four, so you will find 30 values there. Also, let's create, so in this what we are doing is creating additional plot. So this is the first plot, this is the second plot, and the draw style we are keeping the step post. So it just change where the value changes, it just draw the different plot using the draw style of the step post. Text labels and legends. So text labels are nothing. We'll be talking about the axis, and let's create one x plot. So this is empty, right? In the, if you can see in the x values there is nothing, in the y values there is nothing. So let's set the ticks in the x, right? Ax dot set x ticks means this part here, and what we are sending. So right now the value is 0 to 1000. We want to make it only five values. So 1, 250, 500, 750, and 1000. Next, we are going to put that into the X tables 1, 2, 3. So instead of this value, it will show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will be rotated 30-degree, and the font height will be 8. So let's set it, create a title, and show the fix. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the labels we created. It is 30-degree, and these font size is 8. Also, we have added the name of this X labels, right? Called this stage, and the title is Matplotlib. And this is what the actual full figure. One thing you notice, there is no legend. So how to put the legend? So let's create a new figure. We are creating three plots in it, right? And if you notice, we have added a one additional argument, the label. Label means for this plot it is no legend. I will talk about it. Let's first keep it first, right? And you see what this ax dot revenue, it will just call on this labels and display that into the best. So there's a location also currently it Python the matplotlib calculate where the best the legend can be shown. And if you don't want to show the legend, so that's first you can put this no legend underscore knowledge underscore, and the first legend will be removed. You can also do the annotation means, let's say you want to annotate something like this. Here you can do the annotation. There's a one small code where during the financial crisis or major the incidents happened that to highlight those, like so this is in this chart we are going to do the annotate on this upload. So what we are doing, we are reading data, spx.csv file, sorting the data index. Then we are from the data, we are just only pulling the spx column, right? And let me, uh, and we are going to plot ax, the whatever x is there, axis, right? Color black. This is the crisis data. So on this state, the peak of bull market was there. On this state, the Bjornstone bank got failed, and on this date, the Lehman Brothers declare their bankruptcy. So for each date and label, we are going to annotate. We are fetching the label and the X for to put anything on the chart, you need to provide the coordinate, the X and Y. So XY is the date, right, on the x-axis. SPX value on that date plus 75 means it will show above 75 points. Next, we are finding the text. What is the text we have to display, and some arrows and the alignment of it. So if I run this, so this is what uh, looks like. So on the date of 2007, so this is something in 2007 of 10th of month 11, the peak of the bond market, right? And this is the time when the bear still failed. This is the lemon declared the bankruptcy, and that the market got fall. The last one is how to save the plot. So fig.save is the command you use to save the There are multiple extensions, more majorly used on the PNG. If you want to use something, you can use that. So that's what I have on the Matplotlib. I will continue this and we'll have more discussion on the Seaborn and few more on the charts in the Matplot. And also there are the baseline functions available for plotting in the pandas in the data frame and the series. So we'll talk about that. Thank you.